Well, it's my honor to welcome all of you this evening to our 5th annual Elite Hall of Fame Athletic Induction Ceremony. This is a big deal. And I'm looking out amongst the audience here, and I want to tell you, this is the largest group that we've ever had at this event, and I thank you all for joining us to recognize excellence. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're recognizing excellence. My name is Major General Art Bartell, and I am honored and privileged to be the president of Army-Navy Academy. My wife Karen and I have been here we're in our 6th year here, and loving every moment of our time here at Army-Navy Academy. And one of the things we love most about this time is I get to interact with some of the most incredible young men that there are, and some of the most incredible older young men. Thank you. I get to spend time with alumni, and that is very special. It's special for me personally and professionally. And when we have events like this, and you come back to Army-Navy Academy, whether it's for this event or for the alumni weekend or any time, because you're always welcome here, I love that interaction with you, and when you have an opportunity to interact with our young men. You'll see sprinkled around the room a number of our young men and some recent alumni here. So please take the time. If you see a young man wearing a uniform, take the moment. They'll search you out. If they don't find you, find them. I like to say often that our cadets are our credentials. And I'm proud of our cadets, and by extension, I'm very proud of you, alums. And this night is specifically about some of the elite and best of Army and Navy Academy. Now I'm gonna bring up a pretty special individual, but before I do, I need to talk a little bit about this facility that we're in. Some of you haven't been back here in a while, and probably haven't had an opportunity to experience this remarkable facility called the Duffield Sports Center, which consists of this remarkable structure and that incredible field out there. I know a number of you are football players and baseball players, and you didn't get to play on a field like this. This pretty special field. But we like to call this place the house that Maffucci built. Coach John Maffucci has been associated with this incredible institution for over 62 years. Please. His name's on that field out there, but he was part of the inspiration and was involved in the building of this entire structure every step of the way. And as I think about him, and I think about you, and I think about that juxtaposition, when you look up at the walls here and you see these banners, pretty remarkable. I noticed the other day that when you look up at this wall, with the exception of the very first 2 banners up there, the one that says Champions Basketball 1953 and Champions Basketball 1954, Coach Maffucci has been here for every one of those banners. Every one of them. And Coach Maffucci is indicative of all of the staff and faculty that we have here at Army and Navy Academy, whose mission in their current lives is these young men. The young men that go to Army and Navy Academy. And that hasn't changed from when you were here to now, and it will not change in the future. So this is a celebration. This evening is a celebration. And I want to thank you all for being here, and I'm going to bring Coach Maffucci up here in just a second to get the festivities going here. But before I do that, I do also want to recognize a very, very special group, and that's our members of our Board of Trustees. If you could please just raise your hands. So some of you are alumni, some of you are not, but I just have to tell you that obviously the school doesn't exist without a Board of Trustees, but the Board of Trustees, certainly in my position as the president, the support that we get from our Board of Trustees is absolutely phenomenal. And so I want special thanks to the board. Our chairman is here, Mr. Barry Schreier, our treasurer, Frank Montanoni, our secretary, John Burden, class of '63, and other members of our board. Thank you for being here. So without further ado, Coach Maffucci, could you please come up and start off the 5th Annual Elite Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
I'm here to introduce to you our MC. Master Ceremonies in the past years have been, last 4 years, is Jack Wyatt. Unfortunately, Jack Wyatt had surgery this last weekend, and he could not be here. I called Jack McAvoy if he would do it for me, and he volunteered and said he would love to. I think I'm lying there, Jack, but that's okay. Anyway, I just want to say a few notes about Jack. Jack is his class of '59. They're here to celebrate their 60th reunion. He's a class organizer. He has 8 classmates coming to have a dinner tomorrow night. While here at the academy, he played baseball and basketball. He was the leading scorer in basketball. Made all league, went on from here. But he also, in his senior year, was voted the most popular. I wonder why. He's very popular with his classmates, believe me. I'm just checking something, make sure I don't leave anything out, Jack, because I know you'll get mad at me.
I can get even.
So at this time, please welcome Mr. Jack McAvoy.
We had a little conference there to be sure we knew what was going on. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
So it was 66 years ago that I set foot on Army-Navy's campus as an 11-year-old 7th grader. It was pretty scary at that time. The year was 1952. Now that's in normal years, but we refer to that actually as 3BM. It stands for 3 years before Maffucci came here. So he may have been here for all those years, but there's some of us in the room that have been here longer than he has. So it's a real honor for me to be here today. Our class has made significant contributions to the Academy since we've graduated. John Higgins has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Academy and has a golf tournament named after him. 4-star General Bill Crouch has been an enormous supporter of General Bartell and of the Academy for many, many years. And Frank Patrick is one of the early recipients of this outstanding award that's going to be given tonight. So here's what's going to happen. First thing that's going to happen is we're going to have an invocation, and that's going to be done by Bert Millett. When he finishes the invocation, in tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, most of us can count, one at a time starts going up and getting the buffet until everybody has completed it. When dinner is completed, then I will be back up here again to help organize the program. So would you please welcome Bird Millick to do the invitation.
Please join me in a moment of reflection and thanks. We are thankful for the support of mentors, teachers, coaches, family, friends, and one very special athletic director. With our friends beside us and the bonds of Army and Navy Academy between us, with our worries behind us, I ask that you please be thankful for our ANA friends past, present, and the meal we are about to share. Let us pray each one of us according to our individual beliefs. Let us offer thanks for our food and the blessings of fellowship around us. Let us give gratitude for our opportunity to spend time together in this beautiful facility at this wonderful school. Let the feelings of love, kindness, and a well-directed warrior spirit always be reflected in our actions. Please look to the past with gratitude and to the future with hope. Remember those that have gone before us who have labored not for themselves alone, but with a vision of building for the future a world better than they knew. For friends, food, fun, and the fellowship of ANA warriors, we give our thanks today. As we bless this meal, let us always be mindful of the amazing gifts that life has given each of us. Let these thoughts of Mark Twain guide our lives today. Work like you don't need the money. Love like you've never been hurt. Sing like nobody's listening. Dance like nobody's watching. Live like it's heaven on earth. Amen.
Wonderful. Everybody stop talking when I just stand here. That's a great way to silence the crowd. We're going to get started now, and it is truly an honor for me to introduce our guest speaker this evening. Dr. John Michaels attended La Jolla High School, where he was a three-time letterman in football, basketball, and track. In football, he was a two-way starter and named one of San Diego's 100 all-time greatest prep football players by the San Diego Union Tribune. He continued to play football at the University of Southern California and was a first-team All-Pac-10 and second-team All-American offensive tackle. He helped lead the Trojans to a victory over Northwestern in the 1996 Rose Bowl, and after his senior year at USC, Michaels was selected as a starter in the 1996 Senior Bowl All-Star Game. After college, he was drafted in the first round, the 27th pick overall. How many millions would that be worth today?
Now you made him cry.
I know. I don't want, he's got such a nice smile, he'd never cry. He was selected in the draft by the Green Bay Packers. He started 9 games in his rookie season, helping the Packers win the Super Bowl 31. He earned first-team All-NFL, All-Rookie NFL honors and was named the Green Bay Packers Rookie of the Year. He returned in 1997 as the starting left tackle until he was sidelined by an injury to his right knee in the 5th game of the season. In his 3rd training camp as a professional, he suffered a career-ending knee injury. The injury inspired him to pursue a career in medicine. In 2008, he received his medical degree from the Keck School of Medicine at the University of Southern California. Go Trojans. He completed a residency in diagnostic radiology at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, and a fellowship in interventional pain medicine at the University of California, Irvine. He is a diplomat of the American Board of Radiology and the American Board of Pain Medicine. He currently practices at the Interventional Spine and Pain in Dallas, Texas. He has a passion for utilizing conservative therapies and minimally invasive procedures to help prevent, treat, and rehabilitate injury so that his patients can perform at their optimal levels and live out their pain-free life. Please join me in a warm ANA welcome for Dr. John Michaels.
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here this evening, especially those of you who have traveled a long distance to be here for this weekend as we get to honor 7 inductees to the Army Navy Academy's Athletic Hall of Fame. I want to thank the Army and Navy Academy for welcoming me out here and for allowing me to be your guest. My son Evan is a junior at the Academy this year, sitting at the head table here, and it has been an absolutely life-changing experience for this young man being here. In just 1 year, he's a different human being. So I want to thank all of you for your dedication to making sure that young men like Evan have this opportunity to succeed in life. General Bartell, when he got up here, talked about this is a celebration of excellence. These 7 gentlemen that we're honoring tonight exhibited that excellence day in and day out. Robert, Bruce, Chuck, Bill, Vance, Cesar, and Derrick were all great athletes. They excelled in sports at the Army and Navy Academy. Some of them went on and excelled at the collegiate level, but all of these gentlemen have gone on to succeed in life. And that's what we're truly honoring, is this commitment to excellence that went far beyond just the athletic arena. It was a commitment to excellence in everything that they have done. The Hall of Fame honors sustained excellence, performing and achieving at the highest level again and again and again. Legendary Green Bay Packer coach Vince Lombardi was quoted as saying, "You don't do things right once in a while, you do things right all of the time." That's what it takes to be successful in life, to be a champion, and to be a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famers are committed to doing things right all of the time. They're not perfect. Nobody in life is perfect. They simply have a commitment to doing things right consistently, striving for excellence in everything that they do. When they make mistakes, they learn from them. When they get knocked down, they get back up. That Hall of Fame mentality is to never quit, to take any challenge in life and to become better because of that challenge. What also distinguishes a Hall of Famer is their commitment to excellence off the field of play. As I've already mentioned, each of these gentlemen have gone on to become successful outside of the athletic arena. They've become successful businessmen. They've become successful mentors. We have a mentor of youth soccer players in our Hall of Fame. They've become coaches. In fact, 2 of our honorees led ANA's CIF to their last CIF championship, mentoring the young men on this field, the same field, well, a little bit different field than it was back then, but the same idea of the field that they took part in when they were cadets at this academy. We have an athletic trainer, an athletic director amongst the group, committed to helping those who have suffered injuries, something I'm really familiar with in my athletic career, recover from those injuries and get back to perform at their own levels of excellence. We have a judge in the group. So they have pursued excellence outside and really have committed to imparting that excellence into the community at large and making sure that those around them are better because of their presence. And that's truly a Hall of Fame mentality. The true measure of a human being is in their commitment to impact the lives around them. In fact, the people that we remember most are those who have had the greatest impact in our own lives. We all have been given unique gifts, God-given talents, that we have the opportunity to utilize in a unique way that only you can utilize in a way to impact not only your families, your community, but the world as a whole. The time is right now, as we sit here and we honor these 7 great gentlemen, to reflect in our own lives in areas where we can become Hall of Famers with the gifts and talents that we have. The time is now to start living our own Hall of Fame lives. And there's no excuses. It is never too late. You are never too old. I happen to be sitting at the table with Judge Robert Beach, who at 87 years old swam from Alcatraz to San Francisco. Did age have anything to do with that? Evidently not. In fact, at 46 years old, I could never dream of doing such a feat. So my hat is off to you, Judge Beach. An incredible accomplishment. Age is just a number. It's just an excuse. While we have breath in our lungs, we have the opportunity to make a great impact on the lives that are around us. And that's what Army and Navy Academy is about. That's what it strives to instill in every young man who walks these halls, is to strive for excellence and make an impact on their families, on their community, and on this world. So what really matters right here, right now, is each of us being inspired by these 7 gentlemen that are going to take the stage tonight, that we're going to honor, to continue that pursuit of excellence within our own lives. And as Coach Lombardi said, doing the right thing all of the time. Thank you guys again for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this celebration. And cheers to our 7 Hall of Fame inductees. Thank you.
The boss is coming.
I was just told to step back. When Coach speaks, I listen.
People listen.
This is a little plaque. I'm doing it.
I have been ordered to read the plaque. Dr. John S. Michaels, MD, thank you for being the first guest speaker at the Army Navy Academy Elite Athletic Hall of Fame. Also, thank you for all your support to ANA. April 25th, 2019.
Oh, you're getting a crowd behind. Get in back. Right there's good. Here we go, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. You are.
I just want to make a comment. I saw Dr. Michaels sit down for dinner, and he did it very cautiously. So the football injury is still there. So I asked him kind of, how do you deal with that when you've been an athlete like that? And he said, well, I've discovered other sports that I can now do. And I said, well, I can't ski, but I can snowboard. So that sounded good. And then he said, I've also taken up surfing. And I said, that has to be a problem living in Dallas. And he agreed as that was so. We have a very special group of people to honor tonight. But before we do that, I want to read specifically what this honor is about so that we get all the numbers correct. The Elite Athletic Hall of Fame was created in 2015 to recognize outstanding performance of Army and Navy Academy alumni. Inclusion in the Athletic Hall of Fame is the highest honor that Army and Navy Academy confers upon those who have excelled as players or coaches throughout the years. Each of tonight's inductees has been selected not only for their outstanding athletic achievement as a cadet at Army-Navy, but for continuing to pursue, excel in athletics in the years after their graduation. This may include participating in sport at the college level, working as a coach, recruiter, administrator, athletic director, or athletic trainer. To introduce our first honoree, please welcome a man who coached us all for 59 years. He was the athletic director for 44 years. He is in the New Rochelle, New York Hall of Fame, the Elkins, West Virginia Hall of Fame, and the San Diego County Coaching Legends, Coach John Maffucci.
I think I have it. Before I introduce the judge, I would like to first thank Frank Cleveland. Frank, I want to thank you first for your fine meal that you supplied for us tonight. Why, Frank? We have a committee that decides the inductees. I'd like to recognize them. Vice Chairman and President of the Army Navy Academy, General Bartell, right here. Janet Pullum, the Treasurer and Vice President of the Academy. Janet, right there. Eaton Stahoviak, Dean of Students. Where's Stahoviak? Back there. Bird Millick, Athletic Director at Army Navy Academy. And Nehemiah Brunson, Assistant Athletic Director and Head Football Coach. The following names I'm going to read off, not only on the committee, but also helped me put this program together and worked very hard on it. Jill Silvers, who's Secretary of the committee, works in the athletic department. Jill Silvers, she's back there. And you've seen some of the girls walking around now. One's Lauren Smith, that's her new marriage name. She's the Director of Marketing and the Chairman of Events. Rachel Rodriguez, she did all the programs that you're looking at now with pictures and so forth, and you're going to see up here. Tara Morgan, she development department, but she really was the coordinator with me on quite a bit of this information here that we're doing today and getting everything ready for us. She worked very, very hard. And Sue, well, I get it, don't worry.
You're Italian, you should know
Right.
it.
Robbie, give me that. John Siracusa.
Yes, Siracusa.
Thank you. And I also want to thank my wife who did all the computing work for me at home. We put a lot of time and effort into this program, and I hope you appreciate it by the end of the evening. I think it will do very, very well. We think this is the greatest that we've had. Before we go any further, I want to recognize, which is the first time that I could remember, of returning inductees. The class of 2015, we inducted 6 of them. And of the 6, 5 are here. Please stand when I announce your name. John Dobrot, the first one we've inducted here. Stand. Please stand, John. Steve Worthington. Robert Temple. Lieutenant Booth. Chris Travis. That's the class of 2015. Class of 2017, Frank Patrick. Stand up, Frank. In the class of 2018, Chris Maffucci. I want to thank all of you for being here. It's really an honor to see all you come back again. But now I have the opportunity to start the program. We go from the oldest cadet inducted to the youngest, from 48 to 09. I asked the judge when I called him. First, he wasn't even home, he was traveling, he was in Africa. But he had a message, I'll be back on the 20th of November. So I called him on the 21st of November and he was there. And I asked him if he would be interested in, would come for the Hall of Fame. And he said, definitely. He's been a judge for 50 years. God bless him. Played football at A&A. He tells me that he was the leading marcher on the campus for tour guides. In other words, ED. He said he held a record, and I probably still holds it.
No, I got it.
No. I can go on this gentleman all night, but I don't have the time. He was vice chairman of the National Masters Committee in 1971. From 73 to 81, he earned several awards, and too many to mention, and also was an All-American, national and world record holder in the 2,000 meter race. We already was told that he was in 80, on his birthday in 87, that he swam Alcatraz to the San Francisco Bay Area. Amazing. Let me just show you a little before I bring him up. This is some of his write-ups. Judge leaving the bench. This guy's a character, I want to tell you. There's his Porsche. He has 2 of them that he restored. He's been in magazines. 2 swimming magazines that I have here that he's been in with articles about swimming. And then he's the master of the pool. And I want to tell you, at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Judge Robert Beach, who lives on Beach Street.
Well, it's a great honor to be here among you, and especially with the inductees. I don't think I've had as great an honor as this in my career, and I'm sure that Colonel Addy and Mrs. Addy would be greatly surprised if they heard that I was here. I want to thank the coach very much for that great introduction. I was told by a person whose name I can't reveal that the coach was very definite about two things. One, that I should wear a coat and tie, that people who wore sport shirts were not admitted to this great group. And secondly, that I was limited to 5 minutes of discussion. That's pretty tough for somebody in the legal field. But Dr. Michaels made such a great statement that as a judge, I'll accept his statement as mine. Now, when I came here, as was mentioned, in 1946, I wasn't much of an athlete. I did make the football team, but most of my time was on the bench, which I got used to later in life. But I did excel in extra duty. My first semester, for some reason, I didn't understand the rules that applied to me, so I got to march for 3 hours every afternoon with a 9-pound, 9-ounce rifle, which I named Harry. And so that was my athletic distinctions while I was here at Army-Navy Academy. But I must say that the training and the discipline and the friendship and the leadership from the people that I attended school with, particularly Colonel Addy, who became later in life a good friend of mine, was very, very important to me. And I'm sure I wouldn't be before you tonight if it hadn't been for the 2 years that I spent here at the Academy. So, as I said, I accept Dr. Michael's great statement as to the value of being a cadet here. And I want to thank everyone very much for attending, and I look forward to talking to you afterwards. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't leave yet. You can't leave yet.
Picture time.
Back to you.
Oh, good, okay.
Let's take a picture.
Yeah, we'll use this spot right here. Judge, okay? And I'm gonna have to face this way so that we get everybody behind you.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
All right.
Perfect. Here we go, gentlemen. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait, we'll do one more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Coach. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff.
Jack McIntosh.
Yeah, thank you. Can you imagine how much better this would be if a bunch of women ran it? Okay, our next presenter is Rob Temple, a member of the first class of the Hall of Fame who was introduced a minute ago. Rob played baseball at UC Davis and as a hard-hitting third baseman was team captain. Rob?
Thank you very much. I don't think that I will be able to fully convey to you tonight what an honor it is for me to introduce the next inductee. It's Chuck Temple. Chuck came to the Academy as an 8th grader in 1968, quickly established himself in all areas. He was the first cadet in the history of the school to become a second lieutenant in 1 year. Over the next few years, our brother Richard, who is also here, our parents and I would take the drive from Santa Maria, come down to the academy to attend sports events, parades, and other activities that Chuck was involved in. And I liked it so much, so I came to A&A as a sophomore. At that time, Chuck was a senior. He was the student body president, the senior class president, B company commander, honor society president, silver A recipient, captain of the football and basketball teams, as well as being a straight A student. So an incredible leader, and people really looked up to him. But he also had developed a reputation as a guy that, I'm going to say this politely, guy not to mess with. And I was kind of the beneficiary of that, because during my first year here as a sophomore, the first couple weeks, I can't tell you how many times I heard from other cadets, they asked the question, "Are you Chuck Temple's brother?" It brought me instant protection from hazing. But it was also teachers, TAC officers, administrators, coaches, mess hall staff. They all asked me the same question. "Are you Chuck Temple's brother?" And when I said yes, their response was, "You have really big shoes to fill." So not only was he very well respected, and not only was he an inspirational leader and big man on campus, he was also my hero. And not only did I admire him for his leadership traits, both on the field and off the field, but he also taught me some life lessons. And I know we have kind of limited time here, but I'm going to share one with you. That year, as you've heard a few times already tonight, we had a great football team that actually won the first CIF championship in the school's history, and many of the players that played on that team are here. We seemingly dominated nearly every game we played, and I remember one game we were playing Julian, leading them by a score of like 49-0 in the fourth quarter, and the outcome was not in doubt. And all week, Coach Maffucci had prepared us for a play that Julian would run, where the wide receiver would slant across the middle, they'd swing it back out of the backfield, they'd throw a pass to the back. And so we were prepared, or at least we should have been. And I was the cornerback on that side when they ran the play near the end of the game. And I bit on the slant, this back comes out of the backfield, they throw a pass, he runs for a touchdown with me in pursuit. I remember jogging back to the huddle after the play and being greeted by Chuck. Now you may think this story ends by him saying, "It's okay, get him next time," or, "Don't worry about it." No. What I saw was a face mask and helmet that hit mine. He had a hand on each shoulder of my shoulder pads, and he glared at me, and I hope I never forget the words he shared with me that time. He said, "You kicked the crap out of our teammates in practice all week, and then you let them score in the game?" And it was a very powerful life lesson for me, because he wasn't letting me off the hook because I was his younger brother. And he didn't care about the score of the game. He didn't care how lopsided it was. The lesson was, play hard on every play, no matter the score. Do your best in everything. That's how he played the game. He earned the football MVP award, all league on both, figure this out, defense as an offensive tackle and a defensive strong safety. Only Coach Maffucci could have put that together. He received the Golden Helmet Award and also the National Football Foundation High School Hall of Fame. Upon graduating from Army Navy with 9 varsity letters in football, basketball, soccer, and track, Chuck went on to play football at UC Davis, where he also earned a degree in political science. He's coached multiple sports, including football at a Division I high school, baseball, basketball, soccer, fast pitch softball. He continues to mentor coaches in football and baseball. Most importantly, I respect him for his love and commitment to his family and in his Christian faith walk. It's my honor and great pride and joy that I introduce my brother, A&A Sports Hall of Famer, Chuck Temple.
Oh, thanks. Normally, those of you who know me, I have a smart comment to make right now. I'm not sure I have one. I do think that probably you remember it wrong. I'm sure that the people that you asked, are you Chuck's brother? And I said, yeah. They probably said, what's wrong with that guy? And more likely than what they said. So anyway, I'm really happy to be here. I appreciate the honor. I'm sure as all the other inductees feel it's really a terrific honor, and appreciate the nod. For me, it's a great time to be back here with just a lot of guys that mean a lot to me over the years that we've been together, and I see far too infrequently. I want to thank my family for all the guys coming down here. It's a lot to come down here, I know, and I appreciate all you being here. My brothers, I mean, Rip, what were you, fourth grade coming down here and in tow all that time? And yeah, and then Rob coming down. So my pleasure has been, I mentioned at Rob's induction that his coming down here, we were locked in as a military family, moving every 3 or 4 years, and we were pretty much kind of a hybrid mix of kindred spirits and Mortal Kombat enemies. I mean, it just happened in shifting allegiances, and always there was the three of us as we moved from place to place, and that's continued throughout our lifetime. We found a real warm place here for that to be exercised, and other guys that filled that role, some that we went on and played college with and spent time, and still when we come down here, I want to say our experience down here, for me at least, I think I have more awkward conversations with someone I haven't seen for a year than someone I haven't seen for 5, 10, 15, 30 years. And I think that's a nod to the school itself, where we all grew up, and that we come back, and just like we haven't been parted for that long a time. So for me, it's been very meaningful. And I want to really say that I know that this is an alumni award. Other speakers in the past have talked a lot about nods to Coach in that regard, and certainly he was important as anybody else in my life. He's in my coaching. I still use things that I learned down here, just X's and O's things as well as leadership skills. And I do want to say that it may not be in vogue, but I want to say that for all of us that probably feel this way, the line from Denzel Washington gives at the end of Remember the Titans, when he says to his guy, you're Hall of Fame in my book, and you are, Coach, for all of us here. So I really know that most everybody in this place embraces you, as you're going to hear and have heard, is an important person in their life that was here at a moment, and also as we move through. And I think you hopefully see that and feel that as we all come back to see you over time. So thank you again for all this. I really appreciate it.
Coach, don't get too far away. You're back up here. You on your way? And please welcome back John Maffucci to award our third inductee.
Thank you, Zach. Before I bring up Bruce Manakas, I just want to say a few things about tonight also. It really looks like a family reunion tonight. It really does. We have so many great athletes all in one room. I really believe that the 70s and the 80s were the best years athletically for the Army and Navy Academy. With its basketball, football, baseball, track, soccer, and golf. You say, why golf? I had a golfer that played with against Phil Mickelson, and he matched him almost score every day when they played in the CIF tournament. So I think he was a fair golfer also, if he's staying with Phil. Anyway, I would like at this time to ask the football team, since there's so many of them here, for the 1972, November 21st, at Carlsbad High School, when Army and Navy won its first banner of a CIF championship. Stand up, please, and give a round of applause. Watch me. You know, most of them also worked for me at camp. The Temple brothers, my three sons, I think Uchenna Agu, the Manakas brothers. Even my daughter was a social hostess in the 80s. And she sees so many of you, and that she's proud to be here, but they don't recognize her, and she sometimes doesn't recognize them. I wonder why. Let's get on with the show. Our next inductee is Bruce Manakas. Bruce is actually family. We've done so much together as a coach, player, coach, friend, family. His mother and my wife, first wife, were very good friends. They used to go to all the games. She always would bring a cowbell. And I'll tell you what, you heard it all the time. In fact, my daughter bought her first car from Mrs. Manakas. Got to read some of this stuff here. Bruce being not only a great athlete, but he was BC here at the Army and Navy Academy. He played football, wrestled, and track. 2 years, he was all league. His senior year, he was defensive player of the year as a linebacker. He went on to play at LA Harbor Community College. And from there, he went to Long Beach. They did not have any football, so he decided to take up fencing. He fenced with them for 2 years. He brought honors to the school. He took a 3rd place in the National League competition in the year of 1975, I believe. I got it right, Bruce? Yes. Well, you're pretty good. I remember a couple of things about Bruce. When we first, as his sophomore year, we scrimmaged Carlsbad High School. And when I checked the film, all I would see was Bruce always chasing the ball. If he was on the opposite side, he still continued, never quit. When I looked at that film, I said to our coaches, I think we have a ball player. And of course we did. When Bruce came here after college and worked for 7 years as a coach and teacher, he coached football, track, and soccer. He will later introduce one of his players. He did very well in his coaching career, to the point that in 1979, they won the second CIF championship in the school's history, and we have not won one since. Bruce came to me one time and said to me, Coach, I have some prima donnas, senioritis. What should I do? I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to get rid of them. I said, they're gone. There were 5 or 7 of them. I don't remember the exact number, but he cut all of them. And he ended up having a good year and an enjoyable year coaching. He one time told me, you know, Coach, I really miss going to the clinics with you and Temple. I don't know why, Rob. But he said that. He also said, you know, I'm not really stupid. I want to keep the Maffuccis around me as long as I can. And he did. He was always a total team player. And I believe he was a total team coach. My meaning of that is he never cared him being one. He wanted everybody to be equal. And with that, I asked Bruce Manakas to come up and give us the
Well, what do you say? I have to thank you, Coach, for that wonderful and warm introduction and everything you've done for me and everybody else, so many people here in this room. You've touched more than our hearts. You've been something very, very special. I'll go into it a little bit later on about the family, but so much I want to say has already been said, and you'll hear probably from a lot more people. I want to thank you for nominating me for this very prestigious award. And I'd also like to thank that committee that deemed me fit to be honored with these talented people that have had such a powerful impact on athletics. I'd also like to thank Jill Silvers and all those involved who put this special event together. Our families, Nathan and Lisa, and all of you for sharing this evening with us. It hits our hearts. If you can't tell from the speakers out here, you'll know by the end of the night. During my tenure here at the Academy, I've served several roles throughout the years, from a camper and a counselor in summer camp, to a cadet who returned as an instructor and coach. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank my parents, Blanche and Lou Manakas, for all their sacrifices they did to get me to this school, and also for forcing me to stay. This was a life-changing experience for me. Many of you tonight might agree that Army-Navy Academy has made an everlasting impression upon us. We were young men, often just boys, when we entered into the ranks of the Academy. And through the years, decades for some of us, we've matured into men. Our time here was spent learning the skills that would be our foundation for the journey of life. As a former cadet, I'd like to thank people like Colonel Atkinson, Dean Eade, the Brookhart brothers, Majors Bruce, Tolby, and Stoll, Sergeant Whitsett. They're just a few. There's so many here who've touched our hearts that made an impact that are still with me today. A thank you goes out to the faculty and staff who gave of themselves for the betterment of the cadets. And at that time, I know they weren't doing it for the money. I want to thank the young coaches like Jerry Palmquist, Steve Zanheiser. They were role models of mine that I tried to step into their footprints. Thank coaches Moses and Gronquist. They were both older and wiser than most during their time. And I often remember them doing basketball shootouts. They'd be half court in the corner, and they'd be shooting 9 to 12 shots before one of them would miss. Their guidance had a tremendous impact on my life. And the time I spent as a coach here, it was filled with a whole new perspective of what life was all about. We, the athletic department, and our athletes were all a family, as Coach mentioned here. Most of the time we were having a blast, just having a good time. And again, I want to thank Coach Maffucci for being the leader of this family and the countless hours of advice and guidance that you gave me throughout the year. I'd also like to thank Coach's late wife, Betty Maffucci, for all she did behind the scenes that made our lives much easier, and especially those Sunday night spaghetti dinners. A special thanks goes out to Bill Maffucci, Dennis Martinez, and all the coaches who took time away from their paid positions in the real world of business and dedicated their not so much free time to work together every season to make the most of the talent and teams we had available. They were truly dedicated to the warriors of the Academy. My brother Vance, when we had an injury, I'd give him a call. Vance, what are you going to do about this? He'd have us do a few motions and check the scope of the injury. He'd diagnose us, give us a rehab program, and by the next week, that athlete was generally ready for action. Thank you, Vance. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Coach Rob Temple and Bill Wetridge. What a time we had together. And I think I better leave it at that. The class of 1984, the hard work that they did to raise the funds to put in the first set of bleachers in the old gym. It was an honor to be your class advisor. As my time at the Academy came to a close, I had the privilege of working with Brad Larson, a fellow classmate of mine. I want to thank you for allowing me to take that opportunity to work with Macklin Markets. I wouldn't be where I am today without that experience. Thank you. Another special thanks goes out to the current administration and staff, especially the leadership of Major General Arthur Bartell, I'll get it out. You've truly taken this academy to a whole nother level of distinction. I really appreciate seeing the improvements and the quality of what this campus has turned into. The cadets here now have more available and more opportunity to build their foundation of what their life's journey is going to be about. Good luck in their endeavors. My wife, Bridget, she's been putting up with my antics for almost 35 years, and I owe her much more than a thank you. I want to tell her I love you and thank you for everything. We do make a great team. Athletics has played such a huge role in my personal development. The correlation between the activities in the gym or in the field and our everyday life experience is overwhelming. I want to thank God, our Creator, for allowing me time here on earth to play this wonderful game of life. And thank all of you.
Again tonight, but it's not to be. Almost everywhere we look as we tour this campus, there seems to be the word Maffucci. Some of the letters are absolutely huge. See the football field? My God, they're enormous letters. I asked the general if there was any discussion of changing the name to the Maffucci Academy of the Armed Services. But he assured me the name would remain Army-Navy for the foreseeable future. Our next presenters used to be Maffucci's, but they're now married. But we know once a Maffucci, always a Maffucci at heart. Please welcome Lisa, who was the San Diego County Player of the Year in field hockey and received a scholarship to Stanford University, and Laura, who was an All-American in her junior and senior year at UC Davis in lacrosse, to introduce our fourth inductee. Come on up, girls, ladies. And just think, if Army-Navy was only co-ed, they'd be getting the award.
Thank you. Hello everyone. We just want to say thank you for having us tonight. It's a wonderful evening so far. We're both really excited to be here and to say a few words about our dad. Our dad is your classic utility player, a star athlete, a driven engineering executive, a founder, a loving husband, and a dedicated father of 4, just to name a few. But let's start at the beginning. Our dad grew up with a love of sports from the get-go. He'd play ball in the empty field by his house, and if no one else was around to join, he'd throw the ball up as high as he possibly could, run to the other side of the field, just in time to catch it. Those were his first ever positions, both pitcher and catcher, kicking off a long athletic career and a lifetime commitment to integrity practiced on and off the field.
He continued to pursue his love of sports at Army-Navy, where our dad excelled in football, basketball, and golf as a tri-sport athlete. He served as team captain for all 3 sports his senior year and earned all-league honors recognition after 3 years as a starter for both basketball and golf. As a two-way tight end and defensive back football starter his junior year, he was a member of the 1972 CIF championship team and earned the title of all-league tight end. His senior year, he continued to garner the titles of Coastal League Lineman of the Year, MVP, Coca-Cola Outstanding Player Award, Outstanding Senior Athlete, and President of the Letterman's Club. Academically, our dad graduated as class valedictorian with a 4.0 GPA. He went on to study mechanical engineering at UC Davis, where he played 3 years of collegiate football and was named MVP of the freshman team. Later, he returned to the same field that gave him so many of his greatest athletic memories, coaching football at Army-Navy as the offensive coordinator for 2 years. In 1979, he helped lead the team to San Diego section championship win.
On top of his athletic career, our dad succeeded in his profession as an engineer, becoming an industry expert in wearable display products. He co-founded and grew Innovac Systems from a 2-person startup to a thriving company, and currently continues as the Vice President and General Manager at Kopin Corporation. He has helped develop the world's first 3D head-mounted display system, used by surgeons to perform endoscopic procedures, and a series of head-mounted displays for soldiers to aid in combat tactics.
Somewhere in between all this, our dad married our mom of now 37 years, who he's attempted to coach it as well at times, although not always with quite the same success, and later entered into parenthood with 4 kids. His love for athletics naturally had a major impact on all of us, starting our athletic careers early and never looking back. He was always our biggest fan, whether it was driving all over the state for competitive soccer tournaments, track meets, football games, lacrosse, field hockey, and even dance recitals, or whether it was following us to our collegiate fields, supporting our passions and cheering us on. Even though he didn't coach every one of our teams, there were many pregame chats, after-game play breakdowns, and even some yelling at referees when the plays were miscalled. We all have such fond memories of those weekends full of sports games and the bonding time we had with our dad. We were lucky to have such a great role model who taught us about work ethic on and off the field and the importance of being a team player. To our favorite coach of all time, our deserving MVP, We are so proud to help honor you in this Hall of Fame induction. Congrats to Edmund.
Going here. Well, thanks, girls. I really appreciate the introduction. I'd also like to take the opportunity to introduce the rest of my family, my wife Jill, my son Jared, and my daughter Jenna, who couldn't be here with us because she's busy as a nurse in San Francisco and they wouldn't let her get away tonight. So she's here in spirit with us. But you might notice that I share the same last name as the coach. Just a coincidence, I think. But I'd like to start by thanking the Academy for this award, thanking the selection committee. This really is a prestigious group, and I really think that my father started something very good when he started this 5 years ago, and I'm just honored to be part of this group. A lot of what I was going to talk about has actually been said, so I'm going to try to condense what I was going to say. But I do want to say that my father mentioned the 70s and 80s were really the golden period for him, and I really think so. I attended in the 70s, as you can see. By the way, that's a Photoshop fail of me, as you can probably tell. But you know, as a young boy, I really wanted to be part of this experience because I spent so much time going to games, being part of watching the film sessions in my house, the strategy sessions in my house, and you just couldn't help but want to be part of it. And I always thought, you know, as a young boy, you know, when I come to the Academy, I'm going to help win a championship there, which of course, you know, everybody dreams of, right? So the first football team that I play on as a varsity team just happened to be a loaded team that had tremendous players on it, and I was fortunate enough to be part of that team. You've already heard about the 72 championship team, but just a lot of great players on that. And as of tonight, there are 6 players from that team that are part of this Elite Hall of Fame. So that tells you how good that team was. And Chuck, Rob, John Gordon, Mike Davis, who did I miss there? You know, just all of the great players that were part of that team. It's so nice to see so many of the other players here in the audience. You know, as I graduated school, went to Davis, afterwards I was fortunate enough to come back, and Bruce Manakas asked me to be part of his coaching staff, and we were fortunate enough again to have a very good team that won a CIF championship. So, you know, I've had the opportunity to be part of 2 championship teams, really just coincidental and being in the right place at the right time, but I really do appreciate that. You know, as I've gone through all the years since then, and they've been a number of years, you know, was it 40, how many years ago? Was it 47 years ago that we won the CIF championship the first time? It's really hard to say. But we were, you know, I think a lot of us remember that game very vividly. I remember a lot of the plays from that game, maybe because we saw the film so many times, but I really remember, I think all my teammates probably do remember as well, maybe except for Scott Groniger. I don't think he remembers much from that night. But, you know, really a special time for us. And, you know, as I've gone on through life, the lessons that I learned here at the Academy really are the lessons that carried me through life. You know, you learned a number of things being part of these teams and part of this group. You know, you learned teamwork, you learned loyalty, responsibility, you learned honesty. You know, you didn't mince words, just like Rob was saying, what Chuck told him after the play. You know, there wasn't any sugarcoating. You heard exactly what you needed to hear. You learn to get back up when you're knocked down, no matter how many times. You learn to persevere through difficult periods and not to quit anything that's important. And you learn to have high expectations for yourself and those around you. These traits have carried me through my life, as I mentioned, and I think it's also helped my children as they've moved into adulthood, and they're doing very well as a result. So I just want to say, attending the academy and having the relationships that I did with all the guys I went to school with, and having the opportunity to play for my father was really a highlight of my life. This induction in this Hall of Fame is something that's just icing on the cake. So thank you very much.
Let's get the girls up too. Yes. Lisa, Laura, come on up for the picture. And you can be in it too.
Congratulations.
Back up just a little bit, just a couple feet.
Go back, Greg, go back.
There you go, right there's good. Right there's good. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Shoot, one more here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations again.
Marshall loses. Congratulations. Please welcome our next presenter, Cesar Mansour. She and our 5th recipient were high school sweethearts who met while he was a student at A&A. They were married in 1979 and have 2 daughters. Sharon?
It is my honor to introduce Vance Manakas as one of the Elite Athletic Hall of Fame recipients. You kind of stole my thunder there, but Vance and I met when we were juniors in high school, so there's a lot of stories I could tell, but we're going to need to save them for another time. The A&A Warrior experience provides excellence in academics, a focus on leadership, and strength in athletics. During Vance's 4 years at A&A, he took advantage of the opportunities available to him. He lettered in 4 years of wrestling, lettered 3 years in football, was 2-year football all-league, 3-year track ladder, and 1-year soccer ladder. In addition to athletics, he was the A Company commander, Silver A recipient, and a member of both Honor Council and Student Council. After graduating from A&A, in 1975, Vance attended Cal State University Fullerton, graduating in 1979 with his Bachelor's of Science. In 1981, he graduated from the University of Arizona with his master's, and both of his degrees were an emphasis in athletic training. Moore Park College became Vance's first and only place of employment after grad school. It has been his professional home for 38 years now. For the first 35 years of his tenure, Vance served as athletic trainer, providing injury prevention, assessment, and rehab of injuries for all sports teams. In addition, he mentored and educated college students pursuing a profession in athletic training. Vance's thirst for education and providing the best care to his student athletes earned him the highest honor in his profession, induction into the California Community College Athletic Trainers Association Hall of Fame in 2012. During his athletic training years, Vance also served as an instructional faculty member, teaching first aid, health, care, and prevention of athletic injury classes. He is known for setting high standards for his students while modeling the value of education as a means to your future and instilling that inspiration in students. During these 35 years, Vance served on professional state boards and was one of the founding members of the California Community Colleges Athletic Training Association, and also served on the Bylaws Committee. He created the first athletic training clinical symposiums that awarded continuing education hours, a model that has been adopted by various professional state conferences. Vance was and is a sought-out sports medicine presenter for local high schools, amateur athletic federation clinics, UCLA, Cal Lutheran University, Health Services Associations of California Community Colleges, National Athletic Trainers Association conventions, and athletic symposiums held locally. Early on in his career, Vance had the pleasure of serving as an athletic trainer with the Sports Festival under the direction of the United States Olympic Committee. In 1984, he was the coordinator of the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee for wrestling, where he supervised 15 athletic trainers and coordinated the athletes' healthcare needs at 3 different sites, which at that time were UCLA, USC, and the Anaheim Convention Center. In 1987, he served as an athletic trainer with the Pan American Games. He has also, over the years, assisted in drug testing of many elite athletes. Vance served Moorpark College community by contributing to the development of and service on several campus committees. He provided staff development classes for employees in emergency preparedness, first aid, and CPR. In 2015, Vance was awarded the Ventura County Community College District Classified Employee of the Year and the California Community College State Classified Employee of the Year. This is the highest award given to a classified employee at the local and state level. He received this for his outstanding commitment to athletics, education, campus professional development, and community service. In 2016, Vance became the athletic director at Moorpark College, overseeing 16 men's and women's sports. At the state level, he's a member of the California Community College Athletic Association Management Council and for the Southern California Football Association. He is the president of the Northern Conference and on the executive committee. He is also an executive committee member for the California Community College Athletic Directors Association. I have to take a deep breath here. We're at the end of our career, and for some reason he started a new journey, and I really thought we were going to ease into retirement, and I'm a little confused at what just took place in our life. We all know that athletic directors have a lot of responsibilities, but the end game is instilling in young athletes the importance of academics. The same characteristics that make one excel as an athlete assist them in excelling in the classroom and in their life. For 38 years, Vance has been educating, mentoring, developing character, and leadership in both men and women, something that was instilled in him from ANA. While ANA contributed to who Vance is, I would be remiss not to mention the foundation, support, and encouragement he had in his parents, Blanche and Lou, and his brother Bruce, also being honored here earlier. I know that tonight would be a very proud moment for both Blanche and Lou, and I can hear that cowbell ringing. Vance has had an exceptional career, but most important is who he is as a man. From those who know Vance, Dad best, the ladies in his life, which is myself and our 2 daughters, we would describe him as a man of faith, devoted, wise, sacrificing, driven, an avid fisherman, grill master, mentor, man of integrity, our #1 fan, an animal whisperer, someone who loves unconditionally, one of a kind, the best unsolicited advice giver, and the best example of what a husband should be. Vance, your family is proud of you and happy to be with you here celebrating this outstanding honor.
Thank you very much. And what I have to say resonates with a lot of other individuals that said earlier this evening. So for those cadets that are still in the room tonight, you're going to realize that there is a theme that is developed from all ANA graduates. Well, I realize that the more you say, the less people remember, so I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. But I would like to thank Army-Navy Academy, the selection committee, and Coach Maffucci for this great honor. To be recognized with the Elite Hall of Fame is such a wonderful honor. This is such a phenomenal class to be associated with. Judge Beach, Bruce Manakas, Chuck Temple, the list goes on. Cesar Mansour, Derrick Buchanan. I don't know what to say. It's just, for me to be recognized with you guys, it is just phenomenal. Thank you very much. Throughout my career as an athletic trainer, many people have asked me if I was going to move on to Division I or to professional sports. Well, life is about decisions. I've made some bad ones, and I've made some good ones. One of the good ones was choosing a career that I truly loved. I've been at Moorpark College for over 35 years, and I'm very proud to say that I will be there for the rest of my career. The community college experience is one that I would never change or trade with anyone. But obviously the best decision I ever made was marrying my wife Sharon. At Moorpark College, we have a philosophy. It's called winning with teamwork. It's on all of our letterhead, it's on our shirts. Like every team, it's not just about one person. I would not be here tonight if it was not for my team. This team is not only Moorpark College, my team began way before that. My parents, Blanche and Lou Manakas, did everything they could to encourage me along my path to be the person that I am today. One thing they did was provide me the opportunity to attend Army-Navy Academy. This is where my foundation that propelled me to where I am today began. I learned about dedication, commitment, perseverance, loyalty, work ethic, and family. All words that you have heard earlier tonight from all the other recipients. Along this journey, I had many teammates. I would like to thank some of those here tonight and some of those not here this evening. The bonds of friendship created at this academy were everlasting. I cherish those memories as I do this honor this evening. John Callis is here with his wife Happy. John and I started as freshmen, we became brothers. Dana Christensen is here as well. I understand he's the one who put me up for this particular award. I have many other A&A brothers and teammates that are here tonight, and I appreciate it. Kurt Groniger, Gene Ofterheide are all here this evening. Dwight Wiegand is here this evening. Rob Swindle is here this evening. I thank you all very much. I know you're here supporting me, and you're here supporting others as well. Again, brothers. Kim Eady, I would be remiss if I did not mention you. Thank you for all your friendship through all the years. We have Chris Von Platten here. We have Mike Fry, again, classmates that I went to school with, that I always cherish the relationships that we have had. Of course, there are other influences on my life as well, and they were mentioned earlier, and there are all the other recipients. Chuck Temple, my brother Bruce Manakas. I didn't have the same luxury of being protected as a freshman. I can tell you some other stories, but that's a whole nother day. And I sit back and look at, so Chuck, Temple, Bruce, and Bill Maffucci. Bill Maffucci helped me get through my algebra class, and I never forgot that. I also haven't forgot the impact that others at the Academy played in my life. And what I mean by others, we all think about Coach Maffucci, and for those of us in the 70s, we remember Betty Maffucci. Remember the Saturday, as Bruce said, the Sunday spaghetti dinners. Never forgot that, a foundation builder. Colonel Atkinson, Major Talby, Major Stroll, Major Montgomery, Dr. Pepper, Mr. Raja, Mr. Moses, Mr. Gronquist, and of course, Major Joe. All this impact that these individuals had on me were everlasting. My time at A&A provided an incredible foundation. My growth continued to be strengthened through my experiences at Fullerton in Arizona, working with and studying under some of the leaders and would-be leaders of my profession. The foundation continued to be solidified with my colleagues at Moorpark College. An important friend of mine and mentor was our team physician, Dr. Melvin Hayashi, our team orthopedist. He taught me how to relax and enjoy the journey. Our family spent many vacations together, and I think my children will be able to tell you the difference when I was on vacation with him. Saw a total different side. As I said, this honor this evening is a team effort. I would be remiss if I did not thank my other family members here this evening. My brother Bruce and his wife Bridget. Bruce opened my eyes to the possibilities and opportunities that A&A had to offer. I was fortunate to also have an extended family who loved me unconditionally. James and Anna Mitchell, Fred and Virginia Mitchell. My brother-in-laws, Dale and Dawn, and their wives, Dawn and Jeanette, who are here this evening. My team captain has always been and always will be my family. My daughters are here this evening, Caitlin and Julie. Caitlin's with her husband, Steve, and Julie's with her boyfriend, Eric. These are probably the most important treasures of my life. I'm also fortunate to have a new Jim here this evening. You probably heard her. My granddaughter Reagan is here. She'll be turning 1 in a few days, so when you hear a little scream, that's probably her. But most important, my loving wife Sharon, we've been together for over 39 years, who understands what a football widow is, doesn't mind when coaches call you after midnight to bring student athletes over to be evaluated, working weekends, holidays, vacations planned around games, missing school events, missing family events, being on vacation and taking phone calls, working 12-hour days, 7 days a week. As you can see from my experience at Moore Park College, through my life, if you don't have good people around you, things fall apart. As you can see, I have been truly blessed. And the cement that's held my foundation together is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without everyone mentioned here tonight, as well as many more, I would not be here before you. A&A was a special place in my life. I'm proud to be a graduate, a warrior, and a recipient of this award. Thank you very much.
Don't hurt yourself. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach. You did a great job. Oh, so. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wait, we'll do one more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Well, I don't know how to say this to the Maffuccis, but the Manakases are catching up. Please welcome back up here again, Bruce Manakas, to introduce our 6th inductee. Bruce was his coach at Army Navy in football, soccer, and track. Bruce?
It's hard to believe. Oh, get over here. It's hard to believe it's been almost 35 years ago since Cesar's walked the halls here and left his mark on Army Navy. I remember when he's a little guy with a big smile on his face, always looking for something to do. Can I help you, Coach? Common phrase, always he's looking to help somebody else. And when he and his trusted band of compadres were always looking to keep themselves busy and trying to stay out of trouble, which happened most of the time, but not always. I think he might be in competition for that ED squad. But one of the ways he kept out of trouble was to get involved in extracurricular activities like athletics, in which Cesar did quite well. He was a 4-year varsity letterman in wrestling. 3 of those years he was all league. 2 years varsity letterman in football and in track. 1 year varsity letterman in swimming. His senior year, he lettered in 4 varsity sports. Wrestling, he won the CIF championship in his weight class, and he was the most valuable wrestler on the team. He was all league in football and was on the mile relay team, which placed 3rd in the San Diego CIF track meet. He also received the Athletic Excellence Award, which was the most prestigious athlete of the year. After graduation, Cesar decided to go out and make it on his own and do it the old-fashioned way. That means work hard for everything he got. He went to school, got involved in auto mechanics, pursued a successful career with Toyota with the Research and Development Division in Arizona. Over the 15-year span with Toyota, he married and had 3 wonderful children. And then he decided he wanted to make a lifestyle change. He followed his entrepreneurial instincts and came back to California and spent more time with his children. Again, Cesar went back to school, earned his broker's license, and established the first of 3 very successful businesses, Beach Lending, Inc. Cesar's outgoing personality and instinct to help others were all key factors for the success of his referral-based businesses. He had numerous business awards and articles written. He was even on the front page of the Daily Breeze newspaper. He was a Redondo Beach community leader and a Leadership Redondo alumnus. He has a state, Senate, and House certificates of appreciation. He's also a published author, The Official Guide to Building a Referral-Based Business. Anybody interested, it's for sale on Amazon. The book is an approved textbook for extra continuing education credits. He's also an instructor and a business coach, utilizing the business practices of his book. His success in business was just one of the goals set with his lifestyle change. Spending time with his children was a very high priority. Cesar spent time coaching all three of his children's soccer. And as you expect from Cesar, when he does something, he goes all out. He is an AYSO soccer coach. He got into travel club soccer as a coach, and he received a USA National Coaching License for youth soccer. And throughout all his experience with the soccer field, he was invited to play a pickup game with some of the more skilled and stronger athletes in the area, and he's currently playing on a very competitive 40-plus soccer league. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the next recipient, Cesar Mansour.
Thank you, Coach Manakas. What an honor it is for me to be inducted and to receive this award, not only just for myself and be recognized by the school and in front of all of our friends and family and alumni, but also to be inducted with you, somebody who is a coach to me, a mentor to me. There's a lot of men here tonight that can call upon the times that you were there with you, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you very much. You know, when I got the call from Coach Maffucci, you guys don't love this story. When I got the call from Coach Maffucci, he was to tell me I was going to receive this award. I was sitting at my desk at school, at work. Phone rings, I pick up the phone. It's Coach Maffucci, obviously. He says, "Hey, Cesar, this is Coach." And before he could even get his sentence out, I recognize his voice. I'm standing up straight. I'm looking down, making sure my military line is correct. Okay, Coach, what? Yes, Coach, what? It was great. It really was. You know, honestly, the Academy has been one of the most significant turning points in my life. The 4 years that I spent here really molded me. The attitude towards life and dealing with adversity has really been learned and honed here at the school. Like most of us boys that we came here, we didn't all have the best relationship with our dads. And the coaches and the faculty and the staff, they really became my surrogate fathers for me. They made me feel important. They made me feel like I could do anything. They were also quick to put me in my place, and as a lot of my classmates over there can tell you, that was most of the damn time. When I failed at something, they encouraged me to go at it again. They also told me that I was better than I thought I was. Excuse me, I gotta change the page here, so I don't forget. One of the things they also told me is that I would not be great at anything that I tried to do, but that I needed to find what I was good at and then make every effort to be great at that. I was very blessed that they chose to be here at Army Navy Academy for me and for all my ANA brothers. One of the biggest lessons and values that I learned here at the Academy were on the practice fields and the games of football, wrestling, track meets, swimming. By the way, I did not play soccer here at the school. Even though Coach Manakas had later told me if he found out I did play soccer, he would have had me on the team, but I probably wouldn't be standing here today. But one thing that it did teach me was that I could always outwork and out-hustle somebody who was better than me. And it's this attitude and it's this mindset that has, for me, made it a point for me to embrace in my life and to be the best that I can be at anything I try. I truly felt and still do feel that I can accomplish anything if I work smart enough and hard enough. And that my only real opponent was me and my procrastination. It's this mindset that's gotten me through life's toughest times and failures, and something that I can point to as my successes on and off the field. It's also these traits, I'm trying not to cry by the way. It's also these traits that have been the most important for me to impart on my own kids and to impart on the kids that I've had the opportunity of coaching. As my kids know this line very well, they've heard me say time and again, no whining, keep trying. The year I graduated, we either won CIF or we took second or third in pretty much every sport. It's the athleticism among all those kids, all those boys, that made us so great. I truly feel that I had the special privilege to be a part of the best 4 years of coaching and mentoring that our school had to offer. I think it's on this page over here. Like I said, a lot of the boys that came to the school really didn't have the best relationship with their father. And 35 years later, after graduation, I truly believe it's because the coaching and mentoring at this school and what we were exposed to has made most of us who are men today patriarchs of our family. I'm honored, I'm humbled to receive this award. I'm very proud to call myself an alumni of Army-Navy Academy. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, making the time to be here to support me, my family, our school. Like you, I'm truly rich with friends and memories of this place. Most of all, I'd like to thank Coach Maffucci for setting an example of leadership and discipline to model and emulate. As a 52-year-old man standing here today before you guys, I just think this place has been amazing. I see my friends, I look at them around right now, look at me, and some of them nodding their heads. I just can't believe how great it's been to have this memory, this time, this effort. I really am happy that my mom did send me here, and I hated it. I didn't want to come. And to be here today, to stand here with you men, to hear you guys, to look at Coach Temple here, who made sure I paid attention in algebra class by throwing the chalk eraser at my head and hitting me. It made sure that I really took part in that. And also, everybody remembers Dr. Pepper falling asleep in his class, getting squirted in the face with a water bottle. All of it. All of it. All the men, all the faculty, all the coaches, everyone. You all have had an inspiration to this. If you call me up here to be someone that you say that, hey, he did this, it's because of you men here today that I thank you so much for the position you held in my life. And the people that I've been able to affect in my life has been because of you. And I appreciate you very much for that. So I just want to say, warrior proud, warrior strong. Thank you.
Back up a little bit more this way. And you'll face me over here.
I don't take this direction as well as I used to.
I just stand here. Thanks, Coach.
Here you go. Yeah. Okay, got it worked out? Here we go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. One more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Well done.
Please welcome Sean Mangiano, a classmate and football teammate of our final inductee.
Good evening, everyone. Now for the young guns. I get the pleasure of introducing Derrick. He's the youngest of all you guys for the inductees, which is pretty cool. Class of 09. Congrats, Derrick. Me and Derrick, we first met on the football field my sophomore year when I first came here. It was a enlightening experience hearing this guy tower over me, standing at like 6'7". Never seen anyone that tall coming from Newport Beach. So that was eye-opening. But when I first met Derrick, he's very quiet, very humble, doesn't really say much. But once you get to know him, he's truly someone special. He's someone that I brought to my family sophomore year for Christmas, said, hey, Derrick should be staying with us. You know, he plays basketball, he doesn't have anywhere else to go, he's from Chicago. Mom goes, okay, cool. Little did I know that was going to be an annual event for the next 14 years of our lives. Derrick's one of my closest friends and also my brother. He's a very, someone that's very close to me. I can always call him, whether it be personal problems, we always get to talk. It's really nice. But, as for his athletic accomplishments, there's nothing this guy cannot do on the football field, on track, or the sport he's getting inducted for, basketball. Being 6'7" really helped him. Kind of tower over the rest of everyone. But when we first played football together, I came in, I was this hot shot from this big school up in Orange County. So I would dominate down here. But I was really quick, that's not how it works with Derrick. He likes to be the boss. And he put me in my place a few times. I got him back, but I'm really happy he was my teammate because he could hit hard, and he's hard to guard. Try guarding a 6'7" receiver, I swear. Whew, not fun. And then, sometimes Maffucci would let me join in basketball. I get to sub in, which was not fun when you're below 6 foot. But I got to play basketball with Derrick and just watch him play, in practice. This guy worked so hard to master his craft. And later, it paid off by getting a scholarship to Humboldt University to play basketball, which was great. He started there and he amazed. Where he got his degree in psychology, and now he's actually still teaching up there. I believe he said math, English, and the special needs class. Yeah? Shaking his head, yes, we got that right. But, our senior year was one of my favorite times with him, because we both got to be captains of the football team, which is a great honor, get to captain, one of the A&A football teams. We have a lot of football history here. Did not get to CIF, unfortunately, we got to the semifinals. But I was a very hot-headed captain, probably like Chuck over here, always held everyone accountable, where Derrick was very quiet and led by example. And so it was kind of like yin and yang effect. He balanced me out, I balanced him out. For every hot-headed comment, there's Derrick from behind, it's okay. He's not that mad at you. I was. And then, I believe that was one of the last years Maffucci was actually, on the football field with us, and that was a great honor to share with Derrick, Maffucci, and the rest of our teammates. Without further ado, Derrick, please come up here and accept your award.
Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for everybody being here today, taking the time out of your busy schedules to come celebrate a tremendous night for a group of guys that's obviously a group of guys that's doing things right. First thing I want to say is I want to thank the Academy, first and foremost, for giving me the opportunity to just come here and being able to go after my dreams. Leaving Chicago at 14 definitely was not an easy task. I left, I didn't have much family here. I had one cousin. That being said, everybody at the Academy welcomed me with open arms, made me feel right at home. It was a tremendous honor to be here at the Academy. Words can't express what this experience has done to me. It's completely changed my life. I never would have imagined being here in front of you guys, being inducted into a Hall of Fame. The friendships, the mentors, the family that I've incurred from being here, from all the experiences, for everybody being here, supporting me, I just truly want to say thank you. It's, like I said, words cannot express the gratitude that I have. I want to thank my support group that goes from coaches, Coach Maffucci, obviously. He coached me football, basketball, and even chimed in for track and field every now and then. We got Coach Brunson. I don't know if he understands his impact on my life. From when I was here at the Academy and still just looking in, seeing what he's doing, continue to do right now, is just continually to motivate me to stay on the right path and do what I need to do. I also like to thank Coach Bobby Huggins, who isn't here today. He had other things that he had to do, but he did stop before the event, and we touched bases. Miss Janet Pullen, which was like my second mother from the day that I came to the Academy. And last but not least, the Mangano family. Sean gave you guys a little rundown about how our relationship came to be. But I feel like it was something that was completely organic, and it was something that was supposed to happen. I can't express how thankful I am for everything that they've done for me, and they continue to do for me. So I just want to say thank you to the Academy for all my support and for all you guys being here tonight. Wear your pride.
Over here. Over this way. Okay, good job. Thank you, gentlemen.
Well done.
As we wrap this up, congratulations to all the recipients and the people who introduced them. Let's have a nice round of applause for them. You know, the thing that struck me before I turn this over to General Bartel, and listening to people up there is, you know, Coach, and you don't even have to say Maffucci, you just say Coach. You know, Coach did this for 59 years. How many people do you know did anything for 59 years? And there are 50 people in this room whose lives he impacted, who think about him on a regular basis. What would he have done in this case? What would he have told me to do in that case? And then you add that what he brought to each of us, we have in turn shared with others the same way. So one man in 59 years has impacted thousands and thousands of young people across this country. Pretty remarkable stuff. To wrap this up, General Bartel is going to have some closing comments. And when he's finished, we would like to have all the recipients up front to have a group picture taken. Thank you all for your indulgence. It's been a great evening, and congratulations again to everybody. Jean Martel.
Wow, I stand here in awe. Jack, thank you very, very much. Fantastic job. Dr. Michaels, thank you for setting the tone for us with great, great words of wisdom. Appreciate that very much. Coach Maffucci, just thank you for being coach. And to all the recipients, one more time, I just want to say congratulations. I stand here in awe and listening to your comments. It just reiterates for me why it is we do what we do. And you set an example which is just remarkable. The legacy that you have left is remarkable, and we want to continue this for perpetuity. So, congratulations all. Thank you all for being here. Please travel carefully going home. But at the end of the day, we are Warrior Proud, and we are Warrior Strong. Thank you very much.